WGSN-DB Going Solo Network welcomes you to You Can Find Love After 50 with your host, dating coach Lisa Copeland. Lisa's best-selling book on Amazon, The Winning Dating Formula for Women Over 50, has helped women all over the globe find love. Her weekly column in the Huffington Post, which is viewed by millions of readers, along with her unique insight into how to find a quality man, makes her the #1 dating coach for women over 50. And now, your host, Lisa Copeland.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Copeland, and I want to welcome you to the You Can Find Love After 50 show on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And today I am so excited to share with you 10 tips that you want to know for finding love after 50. First of all, though, I do want to share a little piece of my own life with you and how I ended up getting the guy, because I want you to know that I actually practice what I preach. When I first started dating, I was clueless. I'd been in a marriage for 24 years. That's a long time. I had 2 kids with this man, and it was really all I knew for all those years. And I went online and I just did the dumbest things you can imagine. I wrote things like, I'm looking for my soulmate. Everybody writes that. Men become immune to it. Or I posted a picture with my dad because it was the only good picture of me. Or I wrote, I would love to hold hands on a beach and walk while the water's under our feet. Everybody writes that too. So I had a really hard time getting first dates and almost no second dates. And it was really frustrating. I can remember that. It was just, I was miserable. And that's because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And most people, I find, think I should know how to date. This is the attitude. Or something must be wrong with me if I don't know how to date. And that couldn't be further from the truth. If you were going to become a lawyer or a doctor or even a real estate agent or an insurance adjuster or any particular profession you want to be in, to do this, you would have to get some training. And I have to tell you, you need to do that with dating as well. I find that the women and the men too, but mostly since I work with women, who are most successful at dating are the ones that have strategies in place, they have support, and they actually do the work, because that's really what's required. Most people quit. And I remember hearing this story once of this man who had been told there was gold on his property. Gold. So he began digging and digging and digging, and he spent maybe a year digging. He got nowhere, and he quit. And he sold the property to this other man, and he left and went somewhere else. Well, within 3 months, this man found gold. Why? Because that gold was only a little bit further, and that first man would have had it. So how's this apply to dating? A lot of people quit right before that guy or that woman is going to show up in their life. Dating takes a lot of persistence, a lot of continuing to go out there, even when you don't feel like it. And this is why I love helping women find love after 50, because so many stop so short or they sabotage themselves. If you want to know more about finding love after 50, visit my site at findaqualityman.com. You're going to find all kinds of tips, because that person is really only a little bit away from you. It does take a few frogs to get to a prince, but who knows, the next one you kiss just might be that prince. Okay, let's get to some dating tips I know can help you, and they'll help you with that strategy that you need for getting out there to date. One of the best things that I have my private clients do is I ask them to write short-term and long-term dating goals. The reason I have them do this is because when you're looking at long-term dating goals on a first date, meaning I want to find the one, you oftentimes miss really good guys because maybe they had something in their teeth that day, or maybe they wore cologne that your ex wore and it just triggered you and you push them away. What I always tell my clients to do is write a short-term goal, something like I'm out there meeting new and interesting men. I'm going to learn something about every single one of them. When you're focusing on that versus focusing on is he the one, you're going to find dating is a lot more fun. And of course, your long-term goal can be something like, I want to be in a committed relationship, whether it's living together, living apart, whatever it is that you want to be in. And let's talk about tip number 2. So many people make excuses for not dating. It's raining out. I can't go out. No, I'm just kidding. But some people do. Or they go, I need to lose 10 pounds. Or I can't go online. Nobody will want me. Or I just can't do it anymore after 5 dates. Or this just isn't the right time. Well, one of the things I will always ask a woman, well, when is the right time? If not now, when? We as women have this tendency to put our dreams, our desires on the back burner. We'll go babysit grandchildren. We'll go take care of someone's puppy. We'll help a friend out before we'll help ourselves. In fact, we'll use those as excuses to keep us from dating. And I want to tell you something. So many times, it's not because we're so afraid of failure. It's actually more a fear of success. Because we think, okay, if I get the guy, how's this going to change my life? Am I going to have my independence? Do I have to do everything he wants me to do? The answer is no. You can have your independence and you can have someone in your life as well. There's a way to bring that together. But we oftentimes make excuses because of our fears. The best way to overcome this is to really just take one small baby step. So let's say you've been procrastinating going online. Just pick one dating site. Pick a free site. Pick something like Plenty of Fish or OkCupid. It's pretty easy to get your profile up on those sites. It's a baby step. And by the way, break it down. So you're going to go on a dating site. Break it down into steps that do not all have to be done at once. For example, you need a picture, you need a profile, you need a dating site. So the first day you go on the dating site and you put everything up there, okay? The second day you go back on the dating site and you start looking at men. All baby steps. And if you don't have a picture and profile, those could be your first steps. Today, I'm going to have pictures taken. Tomorrow, I'm going to write a profile. The best way to success is truly by taking it one step at a time. We get so overwhelmed with the ending or how we want it to be that we don't even enjoy the journey or the process. This is a fun time in your life, and you can really have fun dating. Just enjoy the process of meeting those new and interesting guys that we talked about from tip number 1 in your short-term goals. Tip number 3, not understanding the language men speak and hear may be keeping you from finding a really great guy. I can remember a friend and I, when we were first single, and we were sitting around sharing some Cosmopolitans, so much like the Sex and the City girls. And we got pretty good at making those. And we were talking about men, and we started laughing because we both came to the conclusion that what we were really looking for was a woman in a man's body. And that's really true for most women, because even for men it's true. Not that they are looking for women in men's bodies like we are, but they're looking for men in some ways in women's bodies. And what that means is All we know is from the perspective of where we're at. And we oftentimes think the opposite sex thinks and feels from the way we do from the sex we are. And the thing is, they don't. Most men do not like talking about their feelings like we as women do. It's really interesting. We love processing things because we release the same hormone that's released during an orgasm when we as women talk and feel what we're talking about and process it. Men, although they have amazing feelings inside of them and probably feel even more than we do, if you say to them, "What are you feeling, honey?" It's like watching the hair go up on the back of a dog or watching the deer stare at you as you're about ready to hit it. Because men don't talk about their feelings. They were taught to squelch those. They talk about what they think and believe. But they love when you direct them to how you're feeling. That's really, really important. Men don't like to process like we do. In fact, after 5 minutes, if you're telling them some story and all you want to do is just tell the story and have them listen, you might want to say to them, "I'm only going to share a quick story with you. I don't need it fixed. I just would love to have you listen to me. And it'll only take me 5 minutes." And you hang on to that 5-minute timer because that's important. I remember this guy saying to me, "Lisa, will you tell your ladies that we really cannot follow a story about someone else? We're super interested if it's about the person that we care about. But if they're just telling a story about somebody's brothers, sisters, aunts, uncle did this, we can't follow it because there's nothing for us to fix." So that, ladies, is out of the mouths of men. It's a great tip and something really worth remembering. Short, if you're going to do that, 5 minutes. So I want to take a minute here and tell you how you can get a great free report, the 5 little known secrets for finding quality men. Come on over to my site, findaqualityman.com, and I'm going to show you all the different places that you can find great men. They really are everywhere. Sometimes you just can't see them. And this free report is going to show you places you might never have thought of. Again, you can go to findaqualityman.com and get your copy. Okay, we need to take this short little commercial break.
You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
I'm Lisa Copeland, the host of the You Can Find Love After 50 show. And today we're talking about 10 tips that you can go out and use right away for finding love in your own life. And we're going to head on over to tip number 4. And that is, you got to stop being perfectionistic about what men must have in order to date you. I got to tell you something. Some of the things I hear that women want, like money or cars or certain specific traits, like they have to ride a bicycle or they have to know how to ski, these are not what's ultimately going to make you happy. What they are things that you believe are going to make you feel safe. The thing that's going to make you the happiest is being with a man who can make you laugh, who can open your heart up, who can bring out the best in you, who at the end of the day will give you his shoulder for you to lean on if it's been a tough day. Tall men don't matter. I have so many women say, "I gotta have a tall guy." Not gonna matter if he's not gonna be there for you. So really evaluate that. Isn't it amazing how many of our fears and our need to stay safe play into this? When I work with women on what I call Quality Man Template, we create a patterns chart. It really helps them see what it is that is holding them back from true happiness. This is why so many people can't find the one, because they're looking for somebody that's going to make them feel safe, but not safe as I'm here for you safe as you have to be 6 feet tall, or you have to have this much money, or you have to look a certain way. Like I said, not in the end what's going to make you happy. By the way, if you want to know more about how to create a quality man template, come on over to my site and apply for a complimentary 30-minute session with me where we're going to talk about what it is that's challenging you in your dating life, what it is that you really want, and how to get from what you want, from where you are today to what you really want. You can go to findaqualityman.com, hit the coaching tab, and apply for that free session with me. Okay, tip number 5. Get out of your comfort zone and date men who are different than your usual type. This is so important. I have clients say to me all the time, I would never have seen this man if we hadn't done that template. I just wouldn't have even known he existed. We stay in our comfort zone. It's our type. The problem is if our types worked, we would still be with them. We wouldn't be on shows like this for single people looking for the perfect person for us. I know it's kind of scary trying new guys, but do it slowly. Like try someone from a different area, maybe who's 50 miles away from you. I had a client who found a great guy that was actually 120 miles away, and they would meet halfway a couple times a week because it was only an hour drive for each of them. And guess what? They got married. But that was a great place to start with something different that they never would have done before. Try someone who's not the typical professional, like a lawyer, an accountant. Maybe he's in sales. Maybe he's an entrepreneur. Try that. You can find really good guys everywhere. The problem is you can't see them because you're looking only through these glasses that are giving you tunnel vision. Tip number 6. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford said this about cars, and it's really true with dating and pretty much anything in our lives. Whatever it is that we believe, whatever it is that we focus on is what is going to show up in our life. It's really amazing to watch this happen. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I have a client that no matter how many times I say to her, there are more men out there than you can imagine. You just need to know how to meet them online and in real life. I tell her exactly what to do, and she doesn't do it. She continues to hold on to the belief that there really aren't those men out there. Why do we hold on to beliefs? A lot of us have them, and they're called limiting beliefs. Again, because they keep us safe. Does this seem like an interesting theme here that continues to go through over 50s dating? It really is. Our fears of success or failure, or any stories we've made up about how a guy has to be or how our life would be if we don't have a guy or if we do have a guy, really holds us back. Think about the stories you might be telling yourself. I hear so many women say to me also, like I mentioned before, I am petrified my life will change. I will lose my lifestyle if I'm with someone. Well, that's really a story we've projected. And what we do is we self-sabotage then. And we don't allow ourselves to find that love because we're so afraid life will change. So I want you to really remember this quote because it's super important. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And I'll tell you, I had another client who started with me who said to me, there's no one here where I live. She lives up in like Montana. and she's on a ranch, and she said, there's no guys here. And I go, how many people live in the city? She said about 30,000. And I said, do you know them all? And she started laughing and she said, no, but the ones I do know are cowboys and I don't want a cowboy. And when we did that quality man template to really see what would make her happy, guess what? There were a heck of a lot more men there than she thought. And she really began having fun dating and her belief system changed. She realized, oh my God, there really are a lot of men here. I just couldn't see them before. Super, super important. What you focus on is what shows up in your life. Tip number 7, stop dating from your mind and start dating from your heart. Your heart does not necessarily want what your mind does when it comes to a man. Remember, your mind is always trying to keep you safe and in your comfort zone. Your heart wants you to feel loved, cherished, and adored, which are qualities you want in a man if one of your goals is to be in a long-term relationship. I do an exercise with clients, and it's really fun. It's like a little meditation, and you can do this too, where I have them go into their heads who it is they think they want. And I'll hear things like, I want someone who's an engineer, or I want someone who can ride bikes with me, or I want someone who will take me to ethnic restaurants, or I want someone who loves to go to movies. And I go, great, now let's go in your heart and see what you want. And their heart always tells them they want love. They want someone who will bring out the best in them and who they can bring out the best in. And I'll ask them to ask their heart whether or not they want those qualities mind wants. And guess what the heart usually says? It doesn't matter. Super important. Go into your heart and see what it is that you truly, truly want, because that is what's going to make you happy. I got to tell you, I nearly gave my guy up. I loved narcissistic, arrogant men. Oh, they have to be intelligent too. That was like my motto, or my guy, my type. I loved them. And I ended up in a relationship with a man who was very smart, very loving, very kind, very supportive. And in the beginning, I got to tell you, it was scary because he was so there for me and I so missed that arrogance. It was like, what the heck? That arrogant, narcissistic guy just didn't work for me. And this guy was really working for me. It was the best relationship I had ever been in. But because it was different, I nearly threw it away. And I had to go back to what I call an emotional guidance system, which is part of that same quality man template, where you write about how you want to feel around a man. And I felt exactly how I wanted to feel. And I was trying to self-sabotage in the beginning. So stay aware of the games the mind plays with you to keep you safe, or to keep you in your comfort zone, or to keep you from really getting what it is you want. Tip number 8, go from invisibility to rock star visibility with amazing pictures and a warm, inviting profile online. Ladies, men are visual. They want to see what you really look like, and they want to see your smile. They don't want to see pictures of your cat, of your grandchildren, of the scenery of your last vacation, your favorite outfit without you in it. They want to see you. You can show them those pictures once you get to know them. I got to tell you, I am amazed at some of the pictures that men show me online of women that are out there dating. Sometimes, ladies, you are your own worst enemy with this. I see women in a group of 10 other women, and you got to go, who is that? Which one is this person? Or I see women that show 8 pictures, not one looks alike. And a man says, who is this? Who is going to show up on that date? Or I see women have frowns. Literally, they're frowning. One of the biggest things that men are so attracted to is your smile. It makes you look happy. They really want you to be happy. I worked with a woman on her profile. We did some work together. And she was actually very pretty, but her pictures were horrendous. And I suggested that she go and get some done professionally. And it made a huge difference. Now, you don't have to get professional pictures. You just need good pictures with flash and be in the right clothes. Be in clothes that enhance you, that make you feel like $1,000,000 or the greatest woman on this earth. Because that is what's going to show up when you feel this way about yourself. And you got to have a good profile. It's got to invite the guy in. Almost all the time when I have someone write a profile that says, I need someone who's emotionally healthy, who really knows himself, who's calm, I will always say, were you with someone who had a temper? Were you with someone who was not there for you? And they will be shocked and they will go, how did you know that? You give yourself away in the profile. That is your baggage. That's what men see when they see these demands of how a man has to be. You really, really want to come across warm and inviting in that profile. So the demand says, hey, I want to meet you. Demands turn men off. And I work with women all the time on this. If you would like to work on your profile, I have a little program you can do, and I invite you to write to me at Lisa@findaqualityman, and I'll send you a link so that you can do this. Okay, moving on to tip number 9. Dating can be overwhelming and exhausting. When you've dated 5 guys and you feel like you've dated the world and want to quit, don't. What you want to do instead is take a break. Go and get yourself back. Go and do fun things for you. Don't even focus on men. Refire up that inner glow that might be missing. Take breaks. When I made this commitment for a year, that I would give it a year to find a guy, and we found each other, I would say about 30 days before that year was up. Yeah, I went through a lot. I dated a lot of guys that year, between 30 and 40 guys, and there were times I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. That's why you want to have male friends too, because it's a nice break and you're around male energy while you're doing this. But I took breaks. You have to. You need to recharge. You need to remember how amazing you are, because online dating can beat you up if you don't have a really good sense of who you are. You really, really need that. So when you take that break, you're going to come out feeling ready to go back out there. And you'll know when it's time. Never push it when you're not ready. Even if women are saying, go back online, take the time to just feel good about yourself, to get back into your groove, because that's what's going to make you so much more attractive. Tip number 10. Have fun and enjoy yourself on a date, meeting someone new and interesting. Everyone has a story, and what your job is to find out what his is. It makes a date a lot more fun than just talking about your jobs and your kids and the normal thing. And it makes you come across as really interesting versus someone who is maybe just looking at the resume of a guy sitting in front of them. Think about how awful that feels to you when someone asks you questions about only your job. What do you do? What do you like? How many kids do you have? What's your sign? It gets to be, it's like grilling someone. Make a date relaxing. And you can do that by just making it your job to find out something new and interesting about that person sitting in front of you. Everyone does have a story, and you just have to ask the right questions to get to it. And you can do that by asking something like, what is the craziest thing you did as a kid? Or what was your favorite subject in high school? Or did you go to your prom in high school? Questions like this bring history up. People get warm when they get nostalgic, and it just opens something in them. I think it's because nostalgia brings out comfort. It was a place that was far more comfortable than sitting there on a first date with someone they don't know, but have to try and make conversation with. It's hard. So if you can bring out that warm nostalgia in someone, I think you're going to find that first date's going to go a lot better for you. I hope you enjoyed today's show, the 10 tips that you can put into your dating toolbox. Make sure you're using what you're learning here. At least take one piece of everything you learn and just go out and use it, because otherwise you stick it up on the shelf and forget it, and you're no further ahead than you were before. And if you need more help, make sure you come over to findaqualityman.com, and I'm there to help you. All right, I'm Lisa Copeland, and I've loved being here as your host for the You Can Find Love After 50 show on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and I look forward to talking to you next time. By the way, though, before we go, if you have any Dear Lisas that you want questions, your biggest questions answered, send them to me at lisa@findaqualityman.com. Be sure to let me know that you heard this on this radio show so that when I do my next Dear Lisa, I'll answer your question. Sending you lots of hugs. Go out and have fun dating. There's great people out there. Open up the possibilities. Bye-bye.